Hello, everyone. My name is Daria. I'm host this event, and I want to say if you don't have perfect English, don't worry. And Today we have a topic. It's about communicated testers and testers with developer, and. The first, I want get to know each other. I can start. I'm quality assurance specialist, junior specialist, and I'm from St. Petersburg. I'm 24 years old. I love so much my work, and it's really so interesting profession. And I'm glad to see you guys. What about my experience? My experience is about 2 weeks in the work is in my workplace, and and today we have a really great specialist. It's Dmitry. Dmitry is senior Android engineer at Bolt Mentor. Nine plus years of development experience, works in Germany. Dmitry, please tell about yourself for us.
Okay, let's start. Yeah, that's as correctly Daria mentioned. Like I'm working already in this field more than 9 years. I lived in Estonia, in German. In Estonia, it's not the large part of my living in abroad out of Russia. I mean, but yeah, I live there. I'm working in as an Android engineer exactly. What else? What I could add? That's not so interesting because Dario already mentioned most part of the thing which I would like to share to you, but it's too difficult already to add something. But maybe I could just add I'm working in different company, for example, in one of the largest marketplace in Russia from my perspective, it's Ozon. Like I'm working there as well, and right now I moved to Bolt. I'm working in Bolt at least 1 year. Yes, but I remember maybe a bit more, but I don't remember exactly time. And that's all about myself.
Oh, great. So interesting and nice to meet you, Dmitry. I'm glad to see you. How I say before, I want to get to know each other. And what about Ilya? Uh, please tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Hey everyone. William. I'm working as a Android developer, I think for 7 years already. I have some similarities with Dmitry regarding the experience. Before coming to Germany, I was working in the company Ozon, one of the largest marketplace in Russia, I assume. And I have some experience working on some consulting agencies, on some product companies, and now I relocated to Germany and focusing on the product companies in Germany. For now, it's company Scalable Capital, one of the largest broker in Europe, and I'm trying to adapt to the new working culture, to the new environment, and free to talk about the communication between the QA and engineers. I think it's really interesting and important topic to discuss.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you. Natalia, please tell about yourself for us.
My name is Natalia. I'm 38 years old. I'm functional tester who doesn't work now. Yeah. What to say about myself? Oh my God. Oh God. I like this job. I really like, and to be honest, I didn't have problems with developers at all because I was lucky. All my team was really good guys, other testers, developers, management, and other. But I had a problem with my lead, team lead. We didn't have connection at all. So during 1 year I worked with her. We spoke like maybe 10 times, and that's all. Yeah, but I hope I would I will find good team with good connections. I know that I have big luck in technical skills, because in Tensor they don't use these popular instruments. Yeah? Instruments, I don't know. Yeah, so I would, and testers don't have possibility to use their skills in SQL. I mean, even a backtracking system, they have their own, and they have they don't have like sprints. Yeah, they have Via. Have you ever heard this word? Even in Russian, Vieha. Yeah. So I would like to find not maybe big company, like about 500, 700 people, where it's not big. Oh God, I even forgot in Russian. Where a lot of paperwork, and where I can work more work like tester, less like work with papers. Yeah, maybe my English not so good now. A little bit nervous. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Nice to meet you. Don't worry about English. Yeah, thank you, Dmitry. It's okay, and it's so good. Nice to meet you. Artyom, please tell about yourself for us.
Hello, everyone. I'm software developer. I have experience in Java, Kotlin, and another DevOps stuff. And I like argue about development. That's all.
For sure, and nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Okay, we can start for this. For discussion. The first question for discussion it's what tasks do the developer and tester have in the team? You can share based on your experience. The first I want to ask Dmitry. Akas Kotik. Dmitry, tell about your experience. I mean, it's about what you mean about what tasks do the developer and tester and have in the team.
Okay, let's start. What first of all, I would like to say, I don't think so. Like a tester is exactly correctly name of quality assurance engineers, because usually they do like their responsibility a bit larger rather than just like test application. That's all. But if we talk about exactly like responsibility between the two different like engineers, from my perspective, usually how is it working? Developers create something. Okay, not like that. Let's start from scratch. Developers and quality assurance QA engineers they try to together collect some information from like product side and try to understand how it would be look from engineer perspective, user experience perspective, and another side, like just try to collect as much as possible information about some feature which we're trying to develop. After that, when we realize, okay, we have different view on the same problem, on the same issue, or developers start to do something start to develop, start to write code and start to implement this feature exactly. But in the same time, usually QA engineer try to create some like test cases and how to try to predict how it would be look like exactly. Try to create these test cases for himself or for themselves, and after that it depends of the team. Like it depends on the company. Sometimes they think about this test case, but sometimes not. It could be like be owned by QA exactly engineers. It's their responsibility from my perspective. And after that, developer when developer finish some task, they need to definitely test this one by themselves, because like if you give, for example, like some task to QA and after that it will be returned quickly as much as possible because it doesn't work at all, you just waste sometimes like time, your time, QA, and another stuff. that's not so productive. And after that, quality assurance, exactly like engineer, try to understand after feature already done, try to understand from user experience perspective, would it be work? Would it be exactly like useful, convenient for the users? And are we ready to publish this one or not? I guess that's all from my side.
Okay, it's so interesting. It's so interesting opinion, and I want to hear other people here. What can you say about what say Dmitry? Maybe Ilya. What can you say? Can you tell maybe?
I think Dmitry gave pretty good example and his personal observation what's happening in our tech world. I absolutely agree with him. That same from my perspective. And yeah, I can give you like my feeling, my expression, if you would like, about the communication and other stuff. If it's the right stage of our call.
Do we talk about auto test or manual test?
It's about all. We're talking about now tasks of testers and tasks of developer. What do the testers? What do the developer? And it's about now. And
Can I?
I want to.
Sorry, maybe my video or like the recording is kind of freezing, but I wanted to add a few more things regarding my experience and.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can add.
Yeah, I really like the idea of describing the communication between QA engineer and the software engineer as a kind of comparison to the sports, to the football, let's say. In football, we have strikers, the people who are scoring the goals. And we have defenders, the people who is trying to defend all the goals. And all our IT software development more or less is working as a team, as a whole team for one goal, like to release some product, to give the increment to the product. So, and from my perspective, developers are strikers. They're trying to score goals, more feature, more functionality, more releases, more code, or something like that. And QA engineers, they're like the last step, to defend the product, understand that's the product working fine, working all the requirements, and all requirements are met. They defend the technical perspective, the product perspective of the overall feeling of the product. That's how I feel it. And I think when you're trying to see all the communication from perspective of the sports, if you throw up the defenders, then just strikers are left, and just more goals, but it's not so interesting. But if you have the last step, which can defend and really value the product and the quality of it, that's the best for everyone. It's my idiom I was trying to describe.
Mm-hmm.
But who should have more responsibility for quality of product? Developers or testers?
Is the question for me?
Yeah.
It's too complicated question, yeah.
Responsibility for product, from my perspective, that's product manager, like for the product overall.
Yeah.
Like it depends from the perspective. I mean, if you just saying who has the most responsibility in the product, obviously it's product manager. If you taking a look on closer look, that's my opinion on technical stuff. That's already like it can be very in terms of team, maybe on developer, maybe on QA. It depends what particular you're asking. Generally, I think it's product manager.
Okay.
Thank you for your opinion. Maybe Artyom, do you want to say something?
Actually, I don't know what say else. Sorry.
It's about you can share your experience and what do you think about it? What task do the developer and tester have in the team?
We
in
just
your project, maybe I think experience every specialist maybe may difference, yes, отличаться. Yeah, and it's I ask about you about
okay.
this. Yes, you. Yeah.
I think that developers produce some features and testers some write some test cases and then check that's all stuff. I would talk about mobile application. Is that stuff in mobile application work properly as a spec? So that's all.
Okay. Thank you so much, Natalia. Do you want to say something?
About quality, if we speak about quality of product, yeah, I agree with Ilya that it's supposed to be a main problem of product manager. Not problem, I mean main task, yeah? And when you open a specification and you don't see nothing in this specification, it's big question to product manager, yeah? So you can check quality if you have any, how to say, something in specification, yeah? So you don't know. For example, in my last job, we had a big project with they change functional that worked with instructions. Yeah, functional where you download, no, not download, загружать. Куда вы загружаете? Create instructions, upload or create instructions and public it on your employers. Yeah. So they wanted to change it, and they wanted to make electronic documentation. So they wanted to do something, but they didn't know how it should works. Yeah. So our big clients like Coca-Cola, they wanted, we want these documents like with signature, with all steps of documentation. Yeah. But we don't know how it should be. So when I opened the specification, I didn't see nothing. So it was only my experience, background, that I worked a lot with documents when I worked in tax office, Kaliningrad tax office, knew how it should work. But they like it was so hard to indicate quality of this product because every week they changed how it should work. So can we edit documents? No, we cannot. Okay, we can edit documents, but we should save all like all editions. Yeah, so we should save if this edition was signed, we should save it. Oh my God! And like when you don't know how people want to like what they want, it's really, really hard. So I think product managers should pay more attention to this project and like write how it should work, And already you can write like tester, you can write test cases, and developers can write code. Yeah. So and it will work how they want. Maybe I'm not right. Of course, it's like perfect world where you like they gave you project and the specification already done. I don't know, maybe, but what do you think about it?
I think experience more people really more possible different. How say типа различаться, я просто не знаю. Okay. I think you have your experience and you tell about it and that's all what I can say. I want to ask Dmitry what you think about it. What guys tell now?
Okay. Answer of question which Natalia, am I right? Natalia, because like I usually forget, I'm kind of like goldfish. My memory.
I wrote down the map, I wrote down table that Ilya, Dmitry, Daria, and Artem because I always forget names.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of like goldfish. I forget about anything in 5 seconds. But if we talk about exactly like how it works in real case, and as you mentioned correctly, that's usually if it's kind of large feature, you cannot predict which kind of specification it would be because like you cannot exactly understand like how it would be more convenient. You could try to predict this one, but it's not the final conclusion. It definitely would be the difference. Like you will add, as we work usually in a Scrum version, you need to, in the middle of the process, understand, okay, I need to improve this one. Maybe it would be better for the user because like we start with this one and right now we realize, okay, that's not the great solution. We need to choose our direction and change a bit of that. Like, just in case, if I talking so quickly, just please let me know about that because when I'm nervous, I start to speak really faster. But okay, if we return back to your question, what I could add, it's impossible to predict and to get exactly correctly and full clearly specification. Usually, but it could be if it's really small feature. I could say about that. Like if it's large part, no, it's impossible. No one knows how it would be looking in the final step.
Yeah.
My perspective looking like that. Yeah.
I would like to have project with small feature, just to try how when it everything goes not perfect, but at least normally, yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely depends on the product manager because like sometimes people just forget about. I mean, like they doing their work, but they how to say about that like correctly. As all of that, we make mistake. We could make mistake, and it's possible for all of that. And sometimes we forget something. We don't describe some corner cases. We forget about anything, and
yeah. But yeah. Okay.
Continue, please.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe because I don't have enough experience, yeah. But when I opened the specification, and it was almost empty, and only you read what should be done, and next what they wrote, like there should be something, and marked yellow marker, yeah, and that's all. So there should be two patterns how a document should work. And already 1 year, project goes 1 year, and they didn't do nothing. And I'm tester should already started this process how to investigate how it should work with clients with I don't know how it's in English technology. so technologies. And sometimes I felt that I'm product manager, like I'm a tester, but I don't know how it should work. But for example, when some projects start, what testers and how communicate testers and developers if there is nothing, no lack of information, for example, about how it should work.
It depends on the company, definitely. But like, not to be the one person who will be talking, could I pass your question to another guy? Like, for example, to give this her turn question.
Okay. We don't listen. We don't hear you, Artem.
Yeah, you're muted.
You asked how to communicate with between developers and testers. Yep.
For example, when a new project starts, and there is lack of information in the specification, and but developers have a task, for example, to make something in this project, so they don't know how it should works. Testers doesn't work how it should works. Nobody. So how they communicate? How they, or they just send letter to project manager. We need please give us information or fill specification, or how it's because I have only one company where I had a really big project, and I'm not sure it works right.
I think that you should persuade your clients or your business to give you more information how to test and give you more information about the feature what you should develop. For example, developers can start developing the feature without amount information, but testers should have enough information to start testers. So if you don't have, you just say that I can't work, give me more information, that's all. And nobody can argue with you because it's very obvious cause that why you should not work. And every team create his own rules when they can start to develop his feature. So it's very useful things that you just send your client that the list of требований. Забыл, как слово требования.
Requirements.
Requirements. List of requirements. If all of these requirements выполняются, then you can start your work and can start developing the feature. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry, Dmitry.
I would like to ask as well, Ilya, about this question. What do you think about that? Like, if you don't have enough information and requirement you didn't get, and how it usually works for you from QA and developer perspective?
I was eager to respond on that, but I forgot to mention that I have some experience working as engineer manager, and all these pains and back to Russia, I have this experience, and all these pains that you covered, I kind of had these pains, and it's not really scales to the company size or so. Even the largest companies have this problem. But what you tried to discuss, I think it's called definition of ready, definition of done. That's a topic, like I think it came from Scrum, I assume. But I mean, engineer, maybe it's not their responsibilities to say it's the right moment to start on to test something, or not the right, enough information, not enough information. I think before you start in the sprint, before you start in like any agile routine, all the team has to have to decide like all the criteria to start work on a feature are met or not. But that's the approach, and my answer is more or less to the ideal world. What comes naturally that usually product and business are pushing developers and engineering team to start work earlier and earlier. The software engineering team trying to postpone this until the old criteria and all the requirements are there. It's the kind of competition and the race that always happen in the world, and it should be like this because it's two opposite forces, and when it's two opposite forces are in balance, that's the most good scenario, I think. And I think you have to write down first all the definition of with product manager, with team lead, like QA lead, doesn't matter, and before picking up the feature, even from the developer's perspective, not from QA perspective, understand if all the criteria are met, and then to start work on it. And all this definition of ready can be different from perspective of software developer and the QA engineer. I mean, for QA engineers, and can be different list of things that you have to see first before they start actually working on it. That's my perspective. But we are not living in an ideal world, and sometimes like the deadlines and other things happen, and like let's say competitor they release some new thing and you have to move fast. Yeah, but still you have to pursue this dream of definition of ready every time. That's what we do.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Evgeny, hello. We have second. Now second question for discussion. It's about where specialists can communicate it and how communication changed from this. And the first, can you tell about yourself for us a little bit?
Yeah, okay. I'm Eugene, and I'm a QA engineer. I work at startup with my team and develop mobile application. Also, learning new about new technologies, and I always develop and improve my skills. And I want to move automatization, testing, and learning JavaScript and Cypress. And so.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Okay, we can start the discussion. It's about second question, where specialists can communicate it and how communication changed from this. What do you think about it, Dmitry? You can share your experience in your company.
Just give me 1 second. I need to like a bit of okay. Communication between tester, between QA and developers. Okay, let's start. Let's start talk about.
It's question about where.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Okay, let's start. Usually it's going like in Jira because it's the main flow, how it works. But I mean, it's not exactly the Jira. I mean, like it's kind of task tracker space where you just like have some task, or you just put this some like label and information about that, describe this task, and just like moving during the sprint. It's like in the common way. But what I could add, for example, we could talk about that like in the different place, but it could be messenger, for example. But if we talk, for example, about some task in the messenger, usually how's it going? You forget about to update your task. You could lost some information. Sometimes it could be essential information. You could lose this one. What else? I guess I guess not so much. Yeah, that's usually is going like messengers and some like task tracker in the common way. And both of that, like one of them is not so useful because you need to write commands and kind of difficult sometimes to just quickly discuss about something like, oh, I would like to change this color, or I would like to do like that, this behavior. That's definitely better to talk and quickly talk in Messenger. It doesn't matter which one. It could be Slack, Telegram, it could be something else, Skype, or it doesn't matter. But usually, to better just like put all information to task tracker because I mean, like, I could explain what I try to say about that. You need to have one source of truth, which will be trust. And that's main thing from my perspective, what you need to follow if you would like to communicate between tester and developers. I guess, yeah, that's all from my side. What I would like to say.
Okay, what you can say about maybe a problem, and what the problem may possible if your users not как это сказать, неудобно. I'm sorry.
Convenient, maybe.
Mhm.
Inconvenient.
Inconvenient. Okay. If you use not inconvenient messengers, and what about maybe possible problems communicated in messenger? I mean, for example, it's about create task for developer, not Jira, not tracker. In the Telegram, maybe not fixation, maybe the task of the problem and the message or task may may possible lost.
Okay.
And yeah, it's about this problem. What do you think about it?
Okay, I could explain a bit more what I would like to say about that. For example, you could, as I mentioned correctly, you, for example, could talk quickly about something in Messenger. In a Messenger, you could lose this information because, for example, if it would be Telegram or another stuff, but it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I don't want to talk about that like as a convenient or inconvenient like messenger. It could be related to all messengers. It doesn't matter which one, and it doesn't matter which kind of messenger it could be, and which kind of functionality they include in themselves. It doesn't matter really. Usually, what I would like to say about that, like, if you talk about anything in the messenger, you could lose this information. And if you don't follow this after that, but because we are all people, we are so really lazy person. I could say maybe it's not relates to all people, but I guess like it relates most part of the cases which we have. If you write about something once, you don't want to duplicate this in another place because I don't like that. Why I need to copy this one and put to another task or create task, because we talk already about that, and that's all. It's enough. All people knows about that. But first of all, what could happen? Not enough people would be involved in this task. For example, you just discuss something and describe some cases with developers and QA, just like directly, one to one. And after that, your product will not know about that, like, and you will a bit of like mess with that. First of all, what I would like to say, not enough involve people in this discussion. You could forget about task, just like how this call, like just forget to create this task, for example. You could what else? I guess main issue probably it's about just source of truth, what I would like to explain. Not enough people involved, not enough information you provide, not enough forget to create at least task or another stuff. It could be. That's why usually. And for example, as on my experience, I remember one of them, and I talk like QA, we describe some corner case, but forget to mention about that like on iOS side. I mean, we're doing on Android side, but forget to mention about that on iOS side, and no one let know iOS developers. And after that, we take some crash on production side. It could be because we did not describe this in one place. Task tracker usually, yeah. Task tracker is practical, but commands usually it's not so convenient, and what else, like difficult, and you need to remember which kind of task you need to open, which kind of task you need to update, what you need to update, do that like clearly understandable. It's better just say about the developer and that's all, or QA. It would be faster, and that's why usually it's going, and that's why we usually make mistake with that. From my perspective, that's all, I guess. I guess it was not so nice.
Okay, I agree with you, and I want to ask Ilya what you think about it, what said Dmitry, and can you share your experience, maybe how it's in your company?
Personally, I think the single source of truth is the most important part. Because if you have multiple places of the information, of the same information, and this information can be dated somehow from different platforms for different people, then it leads to some problems always. And if we speak about the messengers and other places, of course it has to be some task tracker, doesn't matter which, but task tracker. Like we have so many open sources task trackers, like the on-premise task trackers, doesn't matter. And all the decisions and all the status of the task or of the something like has to be tracked there. That's why it's task tracker. But if you store in the important information in the private channels or like the one-to-one private chats, then you can lose this information because the person, we are all human beings, and the person can go to vacation, and then you have access to some important stuff that's there, and what we're doing in that case. It's, yeah, and two things here, like you have to separate your life away from the work and from the private life, because from my experience, if you're working in Telegram, like I know some people who is working in Telegram and they don't have separate accounts for working purposes. They have only one account in order to speak with family and watching memes and other channels, and the conversation with their boss on the same Telegram account. And I think for me it's not really a clever approach, because one day you can forward your important personal kind of stuff to your boss, and maybe the boss will find it funny or appropriate, okay, but maybe not. Depends on your boss fully. And yeah, like we have so many tools and sources to share and move all this private company information to some chats, to some, like, I don't know, Mattermost. That's the tool I like. It's like the open source chat engine, I think. Yeah, and like to finish my response on that, single source of truth, everything has to be tracked at least in some one space and not be duplicated. And you have first and second thing, you have to separate your daily life and working life, because otherwise, you know, your little daughter will get your device, working device, and will text all your colleagues what's going on at your home. I don't know, maybe it's not really convenient at all. It's my opinion, because I don't have a daughter, but I can imagine this happening in the world, yeah, somewhere. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much for your opinion. Artem, maybe you want to say something about what said Ilya and Dmitry?
Why do you so hate the chat? Because for example, in my last company, we use chat a lot. For example, we have a new project, and we can create some chat with bugs, and tester can send in this chat some highlights about I found this bug, or I found another bug. And then you can connect to this chat some bots that can save this comment to the another platform, for example, to Confluence or Jira, and create some task for developers, and it's very useful. And also, why I like chats, because you can easily to communicate with testers, because I don't like Jira, for example, but Jira is the main platform where we communicate to with all our team, but it's too slow sometimes. And when I talk about slow, I mean it's literally slow. When you load the page in Jira, it take too much time. But if you would use any chats, you can easily to communicate with testers and fast solve some problem. I think it's very useful things. That's all.
Thank you so much. I heard different opinion. It's really interesting. I want to hear Natalia, like quality assurance specialist. What do you think about this? About it. Sorry. Your microphone off. Please turn on.
Не. We hear you.
Everything is okay. Yeah, because I didn't turn off my microphone. So I agree with guys.
Like it's the opposite.
Oh my god.
Your microphone.
Погодите. Не, погодите, я Наташу слышу хорошо. Вы плохо слышите?
Хорошо.
Хорошо, меня слышно, да? Машу, меня слышно? Короче, меня, если слышите, то if you hear me, guys, I agree that everything should be fixed, and you should have a source of proof information. So sometimes developers sometimes developers just for example in my cases, developers just called to oh my god, I forgot. Even in Russian, I forgot this word. Designer, and they just decided to do something, and they didn't tell me. And I already started to make bug report, but for example, in some messenger in Telegram, I wrote to front-end developer, hey, something wrong here, or it's okay, and he said, yeah, we already decided to do like this, so it's not bug. Okay, so sometimes it's faster to ask through messengers, but of course, if you already create bug report and they said it's not bug, so they should write in history that it's not bug, it's okay, it's normal behavior, and you close it. So your manager or your lead can check it and say, okay, so you're you protected. Yeah. Anybody hear me? No? I don't know what's going on.
It's if you finished, yes, you finished.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay. I can agree with you. And if I correctly understand you, for quality assurance, really important, safe maybe information when you create a bug report, and when you can write, read you can read, yes, read. To developer to developer about a bug, and this information may be not saved. Maybe developer can delete it maybe the message and the information not saved and its task not saved, and how would say, I mean, this problem not may solve if you not create this problem in maybe a task tracker, and you writing in messenger to developer, and you communication really fast, but solving problem not fast. It's and sometimes you can have problems with solve problems with bugs, and if you understand me, guys, please tell me about you understand me what about.
But you can create a bug report, but you understand that, like, for example, for me, sometimes in Telegram I could write to developer, please, can you check it, please. I know, like, it's 5 minutes until end of your work day, but please, Pasha, check, is it bug or not? And he said, yeah, it's bug. I will check it tomorrow. I will fix it tomorrow, don't worry. Or, well, no, it's not bug. So, like, sometimes even if you create bug report, it's easy to solve problem through messengers. Yeah. So, and I can write faster to developer, to like any my colleague. Yeah. So, and they answer faster, because sometimes they like, oh, it's 5-10 minutes before ending of work day. Like, no, I'm not gonna check my work emails or something, or work messengers. I mean, in task tracker, yeah. Or sometimes you can send it to developer like angry emoji, yeah. It's like злой смайлик, and he ignored you whole day, and he didn't answer for your calls. But when you send him this emoji, he call you back and okay, what's the problem? So sometimes it helps.
Okay, thank you so much for your opinion. Eugene, what do you think about this question? Your microphone, please turn on.
Yeah, it's about your last question about relation between developers and QA engineer.
This question about where communicated quality assurance with developer. I mean, about it's may TMS, chat, trial manager, meetings. And it's about may problems with where communicated quality assurance with developer.
Okay, if we say about task tracking system, I think it's it's slow process between everyone of the team, because break task and it's difficult. Yeah, you text comments for this task. Yeah, you can check some functional. Yeah, and you want text developers, but it's slowly process. For example, in Trello, or where I work, but I don't text developers in Telegram or social media. I discuss in Slack now, and it's work. But I can text developers in Slack, but I tell about some issues, some bug, and he fixed it, but I don't copy this bug in task tracking system. And yeah, it's not right decision, but yeah, I'm often forget about it. But it's important to copy some change, some fix in task tracking system, because developer fix bug. Then when you run regression tests in the first model, which you check, you find new bugs which appear after write some another program code. Yeah, it breaks in the first models, and it's important that you fixation this changing. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of changing state in our chat indirectly between developers and me. And yeah, it's Slack. It's not some personal social media like Telegram or Instagram. I think it important separate personal life and work life, because so when in Telegram you have a lot of work chats. Okay, I have a lot of work chats in Telegram, but I archive the chats. Yeah, it's not important. I can contain with developers in Slack, and it's not important when I think my members team can contain with me, connect with me in Slack or Trello, or if it's so important, you can text me in Telegram. I want to separate, the sphere, work and personal life. Okay, I think it's all.
Thank you so much for your opinion. Okay, guys, our time is running out. We have a last question for discussion, and it's about what is important to say to the testers, and what is important to say to the developer. And I want to hear Dmitry, what you can say about it.
Okay, let's start. To say developer and to say QA. First of all, let's start with QA, and because I'm working as an engineer and as a software engineer, sorry. And in this case, for me, it would be more clearly and more easy to say about that. But okay, let's start. Usually, when I doing some working, some develop feature, or doing some stuff, my working exactly stuff, I'm just trying to provide for QA after I finish some task, some information about not about exactly specific development part or another stuff. Usually, just trying to give keywords about what to better to look. But it should not be exactly as a kind of instruction. You need to test like that. You need to look like that, because QA and engineer, they should look from different sides, as I mentioned in the first question. I guess first question, yeah. They should collect difference. They should provide different view on the same problem, on the same issue. And in this case, I guess just usually what I'm talking to QA is just keywords, and that's all. Main thing which I would like to mention. But in most of the case, usually it's described in some feature. I mean, describing some task exactly. We have like several tasks, and we just describe what we are trying to do. But sometimes just need to add some like keywords for that. If we are looking from QA perspective, how is it working for me? Sometimes QA provide to us, is it working right now for me? And I think it's not the worst approach, but not the best. Sometimes we sync with the test cases when QA provide to us like how they are going to look, which kind of case they are going to cover. Maybe sometimes we could try to help them, try to find something, corner case which QA didn't find. But in this case, yeah, I guess this is like most important information. How it would be work, like QA just provide to us like some test cases, and we just like look what is going on there. And after that, they definitely give to us like some feedback about how's it working. Do they find some, as Natalia, for example, mentioned, like they found some bugs and they just try to provide this information to the developers. And I think that's all what I would like to add about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Natalia, what do you have any questions for Dmitry, what Dmitry said before?
No, to be honest, no. Everything clear. And it's, of course, it depends from team and company how QA and the developers communicate. For example, for me, it wasn't problem at all. I didn't have problems at all. Really, in my team was great guys in developer group. But in other teams, my colleagues, testers, complained that they had problems with communication. Yeah, it was. But I don't know, I don't know, for example, what to do if a developer too busy to answer like for a week. Because really, I don't want to complain to somebody, but you should somehow to find out some information, yeah? And so I don't know what to do in this case. Maybe write something in Telegram. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting and complicated question.
I mean, like, it usually doesn't work like that. If like developers, for example, they want to answer you for a week, it's kind of like really large part of the working time. And I guess in this case, it could be solved in different way. I guess, like, first of all, you could ping everyone in stand up, which usually have like, I mean, I right now a bit of like extend the scope which we are talking about, but like, yeah, if we, for example, like touch stand up, it could be raised that question there, for example. It still would be work. What else? How you could do? Usually, it's not exactly your responsibility to ping person and answer you some question. You just need to ask that, and the person, like, if they have enough, like, how this called, like, enough involving in this process, and if they own their responsibility of that, they should answer you in ideal world, if we talk about that, and it would not be like reproduce in the real in the ideal, but in real case, yeah, we could forget about that. We could for example, like, be busy in another task because like product manager or team lead like rush us with another task, for example, as a developer, because like, never mind, forget about anything, just doing this work and don't like interrupt by anything else. And in this case, maybe you could just, for example, one of the way you could create task or bug for the developers, and after that they investigate about that and close or reject this one if it's not kind of the bug exactly, but you inform all people about that. All will be involved, product engineers, leads, and other stuff. Like, all will be known. I guess one of the way, but I guess it's not the best way. It's just like this way just like came to me in my mind like several minutes ago, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I didn't have problems like this because also it's for Daria and Evgeny. It's very important if you don't know how something should work, for example, or you not sure does it work properly. Yeah, so you just create bug and in history or conversation to this bug, you invite a product manager, you invite this developer, maybe somebody else, and ask them, guys, there's problem, please answer how it should work. Yeah, or you create conversation, not in Telegram, but if you have some something where you can work chats, yeah, you ask. So people should answer you. But my colleagues, yeah, they complained that they could wait answer, but like they could call, write to developer or somebody, and this person didn't answer for a week or more, and they, of course they had problems, yeah, because of it. So just don't be silent and don't wait. Just invite people who can force him to answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. It's really important for working for quality assurance and work. Thank you, Natalia. I want to ask Artyom, what do you think about it? What do you think about what important for testers and what important for the developer, and what do you think about what said Natalia, Dmitry before?
I agree with Natalia and Dmitry. What I can add, I think we should talk with tester. Developers can talk with tester and discuss about some important part of feature, for example, and tester and developer can say that this button very important and you should test this carefully, for example. And what else? And of course, I agree that developer can see test cases with tester and discuss about it. And sometimes they can delete some test cases from list because they not important or not give you value. I think, that's all.
Thank you so much. Ilya, what do you think about what say Artyom, Natalia, Dmitry?
First of all, I often hear this kind of phrase that, I wrote down the letter to the developer and respond in a week or so. And for me, it's like the huge red flag that something is wrong in the team, in team chemistry, in team performance, and team understanding of responsibilities. Because for me, like from developer perspective, that's my responsibility and goal to release the ticket. I mean, and the final part of this process, that's the QA part. I mean, the testing part. And if I'm not really into this process, I just wrote down some code, pushed the changes, then gave it to the QA, and I'm not really worrying about it at all after, then it's my fault as well. But that's just my understanding, that because every part of the team should more or less worry about final outcome, about the final product. Developer from developer's perspective, like by producing codes and features, QA by checking if this feature is working right and not really affecting on other places, and that like product should about what we have to do, and that's just different responsibilities, but still the same team. And if I see as a manager, I see the developer who just pushing the changes and just going on vacation for 1 week. I mean vacation, and just not responding on messages. So then it just but not really in the culture product fit. Let's say that's my impression, because like that's developer's responsibility to finish the product in a way. Yeah, and what else? Like I usually, when it comes to communication with the QA after like merging some feature or so, I usually prefer to left some notes about the area impact. I live in the world of mobile application, and I often share what area has been affected in the app, but not detailed, because like Dmitry said, there has to be different points of view on this, like from QA engineer and from software engineer. But usually when you have experienced QA engineer team, let's say 14 years or so, and more like experienced team, and you don't need to provide too much because they can easily understand what's going on in the app, and that's the best case scenario. But when you have not so really experienced team, you don't have any optimization at all, yeah, okay, we are putting a little bit more on the shoulder of developers, but developers should understand it first. And this understanding has to be driven from the team lead or like the tech lead, doesn't matter. Because in this setup, when we kind of short on people in QA department, and all QA people are manual testers, then of course more responsibility on developer shoulders. That's how I see it. But usually I prefer when you have some optimization and some seniority in QA engineers, and they see what you can't see, and that's why we have separate roles in the team. That's my vision.
Thank you so much, Ilya. Evgeny, what do you think about it, guys? Says now, and what do you think about it? What's important to the testers, and what's important to the developer?
Okay. I agree with all guys. Yeah, it's important thoughts, and I want to say about myself what I think about it. Developers and QA engineer have different point of view of product. Yeah. Developers create your product, and they didn't want know that his product have some bugs. Yeah, it's not. It's impossible. It's his child, and they don't want to believe in it. And your engineer must provide clear information. Yeah, what do you want? What do you mean about your product when they notice some bugs in product? They clearly explain what is bug and in which models and so simple and clear information about it without difficult information. And developers can must explain to the engineer about how works your feature in the product. Explain how works product. Yes, so important communication between developers and QA engineer, and so simple conversation. No, it was so simple conversation between specialists. Yes, speak certain information about product. When you ask to developers how it works and explain it may be feature and it bug, you interest about it, and developers answer about it. So easier, simple text about this feature bug. how it works. Provide simple information about issue. That's all.
Thank you so much for your opinion. Guys, thank you for this productive meeting. Dmitry, thank you for sharing your opinion and for your experience, what you said for us, and it was cool and interesting. And guys, thank you so much for your came to this meeting, and it's really for me was interesting. Yeah. And I wish you good day, and I wish you productive new week. And thank you so much.